Online dating apps have changed the way people perceive dating. When the pandemic hit 2 years ago, a lot of young adults turned to these apps in hopes of meeting new people amid the lockdown. Most conversations, however, have remained online due to restrictions. But now that things are easing up, we take a look at the dating behavior of young adults. What are they looking for now when they build their relationships? Joining us now live via Zoom from Singapore is Papri. She's the Senior Communications Director of Tinder in the Asia-Pacific region. Good morning, Papri. Glad you could join us. Papri, I'm going to get straight into it. Let's talk about the pandemic's effect on online daters. Here in the Philippines, are there more or less Filipinos using Tinder? Was that before the pandemic or during the early days of the lockdown? Or are you seeing now that we're slowly learning to live with COVID that attitudes are changing?
Thank you for having me here. Good morning from Singapore. I think at the height of the pandemic, we saw that, as people got locked up in their houses, the number of conversations went up, the length of conversations went up. In fact, on March 29, 2020, which is when pretty much every country was under lockdown, there were almost 3 billion swipes in a single day. I think in Philippines, we saw that was the same as well. People were at home, especially younger people. They chose to be on Tinder and connect with people around the world. So, I think what I'd say about young Pinoy daters is that everybody's learned to live with COVID. However, everybody's getting back to IRL dating right now. But at the same time, they are being very honest and authentic about, how they go about dating today.
Right. You guys have done some studies and you certainly have the data. What are Filipinos, or how, or rather, are Filipinos choosing their matches, and what are they usually looking for in a partner nowadays?
I think young Pinoy daters are very interesting. One of the things that we are seeing amongst 18-plus-year-olds and above is that they're choosing to keep their dates simple. It's no longer about going to a fancy restaurant. They're okay to grab a coffee, and I think coffee culture is becoming big in Philippines. And they love just hanging out in urban spots. One thing that I found really interesting was that young Pinoy daters absolutely love somebody with a sense of humor.
Right.
So it's not just about putting great photographs up there, but it's also about somebody that they can kind of trust and confide with. Almost 8 out of 10 Filipino daters kind of said that to us. Then they are, dating's changing. It's becoming a lot more fluid.
Yeah.
There is, however, a renewed interest in romance. I don't think young Pinoy daters are giving up on romance or finding the one. They definitely want to connect with different people on different interests, and that's what the main way they look for somebody. But they absolutely are looking for somebody, for a long-term relationship.
Right.
So the other thing,
Well, on the subject of interest, I was going to ask, what are some of the features of Tinder that allow, people who are participating to actually find matches based on common interests?
Yeah. So we've got actually new real estate on Tinder, which is like a hub where you can go into, and there are different sections on it. There's sections on foodies. There's a section called Free Tonight if you're looking for a date instantly that evening. There's a section on gamers. There's even a section for pet parents because people with dogs or other pets love to connect with people with other pets. So we've got this section, it's called Explore. You can go onto it right from the as you download the app and click on the first, on your profile, and you can just straight away meet people with similar interests as yours.
Right. Do you find that people are still taking advantage of things that we learned to do during the height of the pandemic? Obviously digital meetups and restarting the conversation digitally perhaps was the more common thing to do at the height of the pandemic. Do you think people are still sort of using this as the takeoff point to in real life meeting?
I think so. I think, I mean, as I mentioned, dating's become much more fluid. Gen Z daters are becoming a lot more honest and authentic. You know, they're experimenting with things. Earlier, it used to be let's match and then go out for a coffee or a drink. And now it's more of let's stay online, let's do a video chat. You know, that's fine now. And therefore, for us at Tinder, we're bringing the dating journey into Tinder, and we're trying to make it much more fun and safe. Fun with interesting icebreaker and openers, you know, as a part of features. So you can answer some questions that will do a vibe check for you, for yourself as well as for the other person. Explore, like I said, is another feature where you can connect on interest. We've got video chat, you know, called face to face, where you can stay within Tinder and actually video chat, you know, with the other person.
All right, very interesting stuff. All I can say is, where was Tinder when I was single? Well, thank you once again, Papri, for joining us this morning right here on New Day. So very informational. Thank you so much.